at section 3.3. This is the end of the logic. Now, it's not, remember, this is just an introduction to logic. So don't think that you understand it and all, but it's just introduction. So we need two statements, okay? Two, I want them to possibly be true, but you don't know. So I'm thinking, I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about my last summer. Last summer, I went to, let's see, I went to London last summer, and I went to, trying to think of another short town's name. Seattle. Okay. Now, you don't know if P is true or false, but either I went there or I did not go there. I can't halfway go to London. I can't halfway go to Seattle and say, "Oh, I kind of went to London. I kind of went to Seattle." Nope, I either went to London or I did not. I went to Seattle or I did not. Okay, so there's those, and then the negation of these are quite simple. I did not go to London. I did not go to Seattle. And then here's the best part. Ready? Okay. All right. Let's consider not P. Okay. What if P was false? What's not P?
Well, it wouldn't change.
Okay, so I tell you I went to London.
Okay.
All right. But I didn't.
Well,
So I lied to you.
supposed to know that.
I lied to you. You don't. But then finally you figure out, oh, he was lying. Look out. So that was a lie. So what is this?
Wouldn't it still
If-
be I?
If this was false, won't this become now true? What I should have said is, I did not go to London.
So you went to London.
No, I didn't go to London. Okay, so let's. Okay, I think we're confusing ourselves. Okay, all right. You find out that this is false. That P is actually false. Okay. Then what is not P? What's the opposite of false?
Sure.
True. Okay? So it's just an on-off switch. On-off switch. Okay. Now, think of all the things that could happen. Ready? I'm telling you two statements. They both could be true, correct? You don't know. They both could be false. You don't know. One could be true and one could be false, or the other one could be false and the other one could be true. So here's what I would like for you to do. Ready? I want you to make this little table. Make a table. Sorry. And make the screen big. Okay. So you should have 5 rows, and I don't know how many columns we're going to actually need. Maybe about 4, 5, maybe some, not very many. Okay. So we have in this very first row, column, sorry, very first column, we have P, and we have Q. Now, we said that 4 things could happen with these two statements. Right? I went to London or I didn't go to London. P could be true or false. Q could be true or false. So these are possibilities. P could be true, and Q could be true. P could be true and Q could be false. P could be false and Q could be true, or they both could be false. Piece of cake, right? So these are the only 4 things in the whole world that could happen. That's it. Because we're trying to get this down to very simple statements, either true, false statements. All the world down to true, false statements. Okay. So what else do we know? Well, we also read it. What is not P? Yeah, what's not P? Huh? Yeah, what if P was true, what was not P? If tree was true, if P is actually true, what's not P?
If P is true, then it would be
It'd be false, wouldn't it? Yeah, just on-off switch. Okay? Don't overthink it. So if P is true, then not P is false. If P is false, then not P is true. Okay, so we're just going to flip the switch. Now, ready? What is this one? P caret Q.
P and Q.
Oh, so you said and. All right. Now, what makes a conjunction true? What makes the and true? Okay, so let's think about it. I'm telling you, I went to London and I went to Seattle. Okay. What happens if I went to both those places? Did I lie to you?
They were both true.
They're both true. Both true.
P and Q were true.
If both P and Q are true, then did I lie to you?
No.
No. So that'd be true. I'm telling you, I went to London and I went to Seattle. However, the Seattle thing was false. But
Be true or false.
so we got a true and a false.
So it would be false.
It'd be false, wouldn't it? Because one of them is false.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See, you already got the hardest part of this whole section right there.
Okay.
Knowing that if I use the word and,
He's talking about all of
And
them. You lie about part
both
of it.
sides have to be true. Yep. Okay. I tell you, I went to London and I went to France. No, I went to London and I went to Seattle. However, I didn't go to London.
They were both false.
So one's false, one's true. Then this is, if I use the word and, I didn't go to both places. And then, of course, if I didn't go to either place, and I tell you I went to both places, I am lying to you. I am telling you a falsehood. Piece of cake.
Oh gosh, you're gonna do or now.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, it gets worse.
Oh,
I mean better.
what?
It gets better. It gets better.
Gets better?
Okay, better. Okay. If I tell you I went to London or I went to Seattle, but I went to both places, did I lie to you? This is the other thing that's harder for some
Yes,
people.
you lied.
Okay, so a lot of people say I lied to you.
Because you
I went to London or I went to Seattle. However, I went to both. Did I lie to you?
No.
The answer is I did not lie to you. Okay, so this is by definition in this class. It's called an inclusive or.
Or
Okay.
is this or that.
Okay, yes. Okay, so here's, I don't know if you're hearing the students in the classroom, but a or she or he, I don't know identities. Okay, the student, just kidding. Okay, the student says or means either. I went to either A or I went to B, but not both. Okay, that's called the exclusive or. That's an exclusive, and that's not what we use. We use the inclusive or, which means if I went to both and I use the word or, I'm not lying. Okay, so that's kind of the hardest part of this to remember. And how I remember is this. My probability professor in college, he did not like women. Because, in fact, my wife had him for a class and he called them all the B word. Because he was in the midst of an ugly divorce. And basically, in the agreement was, if this happens or this happens, then he gets the money. And both of those things happened. And in his mind, he should have got the money. But in the judge's mind, the judge used the exclusive or, and he said, since both of them happened, you don't get the money. And he was a logic guy, and he said, no, it's supposed to be the inclusive or, and therefore I get the money. And so he was very, very bitter towards women. All right, so, sorry ladies, but he's probably dead now. He was old then, he's probably dead now. Okay, maybe not. I got Mr. Embergy. I got to go look him up now. Okay, so, I say to you, I went to London or I went to Seattle. However, I did go to Seattle, but I didn't go to, I did go to London, but I didn't go to Seattle. Did I lie to you?
True.
It'd be true. Because I went to one of them. And so the next one was false true. True. But now I didn't go to either one, but I told you I went to one or the other. That's a false. Okay. So this little chart is incredibly important. And we're going to make, they're called, ready? These called truth tables. Okay? And they're not horrid. They're kind of fun. Okay. Let's do some more. Ready? I kind of love them. Because I think they're so easy. Yeah. And it's just basically turning the light switch on and off. Okay, so let's set up a truth table. Same thing, just 5 rows, I guess. And every time I do a truth table, especially on a test, unless I get the computer to generate the test, okay, I will set up the P's and the Q's. Okay, so I'm going to go true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. Every time, in that order. I believe your homework does that, but I'm not real sure. Okay, so this is the one we want this time. We're looking for not P or Q. Okay, so we've done the basics. Now we're going to do some others. Okay, so we're looking for not P or Q. We have Q, that's good, right? But we don't have not P, so let's do not P. We need this little part of not P. So all I do is turn the switch. If P is true, then not P is false. If P is true, false. If P is false, then not P is true. Okay. And I have them. And now I need to only look at not P, it's right there, or Q. Not P or Q. So here's my final answer. So I'm not going to look at P column anymore. I'm only going to look at these two. And if one is true, then the OR is true. If both are false, then it's false. If both true, then it's true. And if one is true, an OR is true. And so this column right here is your final answer. Piece of cake, right? They get better. How about if we asked for let's ask for not P and not Q. Not P and not Q. Guys, put the P in the Q, put true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. All right, what do we need? And we need,
Not Q.
so we need a not P and a not Q. Okay. The only place I really see people messing this up is going too fast, and then like this true is supposed to turn into a false, and they don't turn it into a false. So I'm just flipping the switch for all the P's and the Q's. And now I have the two columns that I need. And now I can put them together. And what does an and need to be true? Yes, so false, false, false. False, true, false. True, false, false. True, true, true. You ready for a hard one?
It really wasn't fun. Tell me it wasn't fun.
All right. Got a new piece of paper? We're going to do two more, I think. Let me see. One, this one's a good one. Oh yeah. What's that? Oh. And yes, we're going to do two more. Ready? We're going to construct a truth table for P or Q in parentheses and not P.
Whoa.
That's weird. Yeah, but it's not too bad. The good one's coming.
Is that a hard one?
No, they're not all hard.
Oh.
I don't think any of them hard. Really, I just think it's something that you've never done in your life, and so it's like, well, this is new.
So all we need is not P, because we already have P and Q.
So we have. Wait. So
After
P,
you write them.
true, true, false, false, true, false, true, false. So I will always give you this right here because it makes it easier for me to grade. Because it's, and if you get used to this, then you'll get used to the way I was taught 35 years ago. And I don't know, I don't know if it's the best way or the worst way. It's just the way I was taught. So, okay. So we have P's and Q's. What else do we need? We need a not P,
That's it.
but we also need this, P or Q. We need to do,
We already have P and we already have Q.
but we need P or Q. We need what's inside the parentheses. Okay, so we need not P, which is really easy to do. Almost every time I go, I just do not P and not Q, just quickly. False, false, true, and true. Okay, then we need P. Is that and? Or. Okay. P or Q. Now make sure you use the correct two columns for P or Q, which are these two. So true, true,
True.
true, false, or,
True.
yeah, false, true,
True.
and false, false. Okay. Now we have the two columns. We have what's in parentheses in this column, and we have not P in this column, and we're going to do and. So false, true is.
And what?
Oh, this is. Oh, sorry. This is P or Q and not P. So this is our final answer. So we have the left side, the parentheses right here, and we have the right side right here. So we're gonna put those, connect those with an and. Always, do the parentheses first. That's kind of just an algebra thing. All right, so false, true, and an and is?
And?
Yeah, false. False, true is a false. True, true is a true, and true, false is a false. So there's your answer. False, false, true, false. So the only time that this right here is a true statement is when P is false and Q is true. So So this is a true statement. If I tell you I went to London and I went to Seattle, but I technically lied to you about London. So I lied to you here, but I told the truth here, which means that's the truth, which means that's the truth, which means that's the truth. Okay, ready for one more? All right, this is the one that's in your book, in your notes, on page something, probably the last page. And I think they usually have 2 examples in here. I just like lots of paper for truth tables, I just like to have lots of room. So we're going to be on page 12. All right, so, and we're going to do the one on the left. Okay. Oh, this is not even a truth table, but we can do it. Let's do it. Nope. Scratch that. We're gonna, because that's a whole different thing. Sorry. We're gonna do this. Ready? We're gonna do. Tell me what the answer is. This one. No. Oh, I'm not done.
You're still adding. You are still done. What is R?
PQR. It's just another one.
What is R?
Okay, so another statement. We're not going to London. We're going to London, Seattle, and Boston.
That's a whole lot of. You said that R is Boston?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I don't know.
Going to
1,
Boston.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so on these on the test, I will give you P, Q, and R. I will fill out the first 3 columns because I like it a certain way. Okay, so I like true, 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 false, 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 true, true, false, false, true, true, false, false,
Why
and
are
then.
there so many columns?
Well, because there's 8 there's 8 possibilities. With 3 statements, there's 8 possibilities. And you can see that if we had four statements, then it'd be 16. If we had 5, it'd be 32, and it goes on and on and on.
Okay. When?
I'm trying to make sure it fills the screen here. Almost. Zoom out a little bit. Perfect. Let me get a little focused better. All right, here we go. So this is the big ones. Are you already done? You're done?
What?
You already got the answer?
But now it's still.
Oh, okay.
You are still.
Oh, okay. So let's look at what we need. We need a not Q, right? And we need a not R, and we need a not P. So those are our next 3 columns. Because we need all these, right? We need not P, not Q, and not R. So that takes a little bit of time. Not P, not Q, and not R. And the deal is, if you mess up one little letter, you're there's no way to, it doesn't fix, and there's no checks. There's no, hey, I think I got the right answer, but you didn't because you messed up one little letter somewhere. Okay. So, all right. So we need P, All right, so we need P or not Q. So I'm going to put that in the next column. P or not Q. Let's see if you can do P or not Q for all 8 possibilities. Yeah. And I will have it, I'll print it out nice grid, and so it's test time, it's fine. Doing your homework is a little, yeah. It's a little weird. So what's this one? P or not Q. Make sure you use the 2 columns that are listed. So what do we got? First one.
P or Q. False. True.
You going with true?
Yeah.
100% positive.
Yes, that's true.
An or only needs one of them to be true. Perfect. What about the next one?
The next one. True.
The next one.
It would be true.
Next one.
It would be true. I'm looking at the wrong one. True.
Next one.
Then it would be false.
Good.
Then it would be false.
Good.
Then it would be true.
Good.
And then it would be true.
Good job. Perfect. All right. Fantastic. You're awesome. Okay, so now we got the left side of the main connector right there. So what we need is the right side of the main connector. We need this thing.
R or not P.
I should, yeah. Not R or not P. And I wish we had more time because there's some really cool stuff that you can do with this, but it's bonus material that we don't have time. All right, I'll let you fill out that column. I'm not going to say a word. Little pressure. If you're watching at home, this is when you would try this. But do you want to do it in pencil because you might be wrong. But I think you got this. Make sure you use the correct 2 columns. All right, that's what I got.
That's what I got.
Perfect.
Woohoo.
Whoop, whoop. All right, we're almost done. So now we need the whole thing. Now, usually I don't write. If it's really long, I don't like to write it anymore. But I will just because it won't hurt me to write this. So now I'm going to do the whole kit and caboodle. I don't know what that really means. Yeah. Okay, and now, because I've done this perfectly, these 2 columns are nice right next to each other. And it's an and.
False.
So that's false.
True. False. True. False. False. True.
Half the time that statement's true.
Half the time.
Half the time it's false. So I don't know. Anyway, there it is. So that's as hard as it gets. I don't think anything's any harder than that.
It's just a lot of letters.
Yes, it is. The homework's annoying. Please, please, please do the homework by pencil first, okay? So that you have practice making this table, so when the test comes, which is more important than the homework, you will know what you're doing. Okay, so then at the end of this section, they give us this. Okay, so let's do P is 2% of American women are homely. Oh, that's horrible.
Women are what?
Homely, you know what that means?
No.
They don't look great. They look frumpy or whatever. I don't know. Q. All right. More than half of women are good looking. I can't believe they're saying this. These aren't even statements because it's subjective. Anyway, are 5% of men are strikingly attractive. Brad Pitt looking. Okay, actually, I don't know who you guys think is strikingly attractive. Who is the best movie star these days? I don't know. Okay. Now, those are the three statements. However, you come to find, all right. Here's what we want to find out. Ready? We want to find out 2%. 2%. Well, I'm just going to put it here. It's in your notes. Okay. So 2% of American women are homely, or there's an important word, more than half are good looking, and it is not true that 5% of American men are strikingly attractive. So, can you write that in symbols?
Yes.
So,
P
so P or Q and not R.
What'd you put?
So
P or
P. So where does the parentheses go? Because it very much matters. So when you're looking at these, look where the comma is. So the comma will everything to the left of the comma needs to be together. So the two on the left. So it's P or Q and not R. Okay, so this is weird. This is the statement that's made. Is it a true statement or is it a false statement?
Where is the chart?
Okay. Oh, you come out and you find that P is true, Q is false, and R is also false. All right, so you find a little bit more message. So these statements seem silly, okay? This is much more important, this part right here. If I give you a statement, I tell you P is true, Q is false, R is false. What is this statement? Is this statement true or is this statement false? Okay, so what's P or Q? P or Q is?
True.
True and not R.
True and false would be false.
Okay, but wait, not R.
Not R. So the statement would be true.
So this whole thing is true. And so here's, in your notes, they kind of break it down, however the thing didn't print very well. So here's what they do. Ready? Instead of P, they write true. Then they go or. Q is false. Then and then not R would be not false. And then they just go ahead and do this. So true or false becomes true, and not false is true, and is true. Okay, so at the end there's some problems like that. I found people, I don't know if they just guess true or false because the answer comes down to be either true or false. So on your homework, where you get more than one chance, or you just get, oh, true, I'm going to guess true.
Oh no, similar question.
Similar question. I'm going to do false, yes. You might want to practice this a little bit, okay? Just practice it. If you do practice two and you're getting them right, then feel free. However, some of them get a little tricky. Okay? So, let's see if we can do this. One last problem in your notes and we'll be done for today. College freshman in 2012. So this is very, very, to you guys it's old. To me it's not that old. Okay. So they want to be a business major, engineer, a physician, a nurse, or a teacher. Teacher. Okay. Yeah. Great job. All right. Write each statement in symbolic form, then use the information in the graph to determine the truth value of the compound statement. Okay, so 5.9% name teaching, so that sounds like P, or Q is right here, so this is going to be P up here, this is going to be Q here. There's a comma,
Those are parentheses.
so I'm going to put those in parentheses, good. And it is not true, so there's R.
That's what we just did. So it's true.
That's exactly the same thing. No, it's only true when these three things happen. Okay, remember there's 8 things that can happen. Okay, so is P true? Was P true? 5.9% name teaching.
Yes.
All right, so that's gonna be a true. Is Q true? 8.9% said nursing. No,
That's false.
that's false. And not. What's R? R is 12% name business.
That's false.
That's false. It is the exact same question, isn't it?
Yeah.
T or F is true, and true, and true is true. Weird enough? Weird enough. So that statement, even though it contained the original statement had 2 errors in it. However, the way they stated it actually was a true statement. Go figure.
How does that work?
Because how does that work? Because they put the ors and the ands in the correct places. Well, yeah, it is not true that 12. Actually, they said 2 things right.
Are we gonna have any questions where it makes us do it like in reverse? Like gives us the
No, you can all work these left to right all the time. Okay. So anyway, those are truth tables. Kind of interesting, and that's the end of logic. Logic. Okay.